One question I have before we break, which is within your fatwa, there's a question of whether you're calling the Khawarij, the contemporary terrorists, kufr, unbelievers?
Yes. This is.
Are you calling them non-Muslims, disbelievers, or transgressors? Could you elaborate that? Because this is a bone of contention from those who read this fatwa in the original Urdu, and then the abridged version in English has tried to do some justice. But are you calling the contemporary terrorists and all those organizations that we identify, Al-Qaeda, Lashkar, Taliban, so forth, and all these other, are you saying they are disbelievers or non-Muslims? What is their status?
This is way into the exegetical principles of Quran and jurisprudential principles of Islamic law. What I have said in this fatwa and what I am saying, what I consider is that killing of human beings, it possesses two kinds of status. This act possesses two kinds of status or two kinds of position. There are two positions. One is just an act of killing. There are many murderers who kill any innocent people out of anger. The tribes, the people, the families, they kill by mistake, they kill by unintentionally, they kill intentionally. So just an act of killing. First of all, Quran says, Man qatala nafsan bighayri nafsin wa fasadin fil ard faka'annama qatala an-nasa jami'a. If anybody kills any person, no qualification of being Muslim, no condition. Any person, may be Muslim or non-Muslim. The word nafsan means any person, Muslim or non-Muslim. If anybody kills him or her, then he will be considered as if he has killed the whole of humanity. This is the first basic article from which I am deriving. Now, the act of killing has two positions, legally speaking. One is just an act of killing, without any particular ideology or theology. So this act of killing is known as haram, forbidden. So any killer, he is a criminal, he is committing a haram act, a forbidden act. Second position of act of killing is under a particular ideology, to kill a person or to kill a community or to kill a group of persons, either by suicide bombings or by terroristic attack in any way, to kill certain people, Muslim or non-Muslim, with an intention, with a faith, with an ideology that this killing is lawful. The first killer is killing a man, but he thinks that he knows that he is committing a crime. That is haram, unlawful, forbidden. But second category is that if somebody or some people do the same act of killing with an ideology that this act is lawful, or we are under an obligation to kill them, or this act of killing would take us to heavens instead of taking us to hellfire. We are going to heavens and getting 70 virgins. And if we are killed in suicide bombing, then we are martyrs. So with this whole mindset and ideology, if somebody kills, he becomes a kafir.
A non-believer.
He becomes a disbeliever.
Disbeliever.
He becomes a disbeliever. So this is not only stated by me, this is an agreed upon exegetical and jurisprudential principles quoted by the scholars and all exegetical specialists. And the first reference which I will quote here, I mentioned, is Imam Abu Mansur al-Maturidi, the Imam of Ahlul Sunnah in 3rd century, who organized and compiled the science of Aqidah, science of theology. He has categorically written in his Ta'wilatu Ahl Sunnah, in his book of Tafsir, that man istahalla dima al-nas, or dima al-muslimin, or dima al-nas, the one who istihlal dima, bloodshed is one thing, and bloodshed and considering it that it is halal, it is permissible or obligatory, he said, faqad kafara. He becomes a disbeliever. Since the Kharijites, what would we say? A very specific term which we would follow the term used by Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Holy Prophet ﷺ did not say that those Kharijites, because of these acts, they would become kafir. He didn't use the word kafir. He said, yamrukuna min ad-deen kama yamruku sahmu min ar-ramiyya. They said they will go out of the ambit of Islam. They will go out of the ambit, out of the cycle of Islam. They will go out of my ummah. So they would have no link with Islam and no link with my ummah. And they would be liable to death punishment. And the people who will terminate them and fight them, those terrorists, he will get the reward as if he fought the nation of Ad and Samud. So here we will use the term we used by Holy Prophet, that they are out of the ambit of Islam. They are not Muslims. We would say they are not Muslims. They are out of the ambit of Islam. We will use the terms used by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the fourth aspect, there were two views among the jurists and muhaddiseen and scholars. Two views. I have given the full summary here. Some scholars, all of the scholars and jurists agree upon the termination or the capital punishment or termination of the Kharijite terrorists. None of them has given any degree less than capital punishment for a terrorist, Kharijite terrorist. This is a unanimous. From in all schools of law and muhaddiseen and mufassirin, the specialist authorities of hadith and authorities of tafsir, exegesis. But there were two views. What would we say them? Whether they would be kafirs or they would be known as bughat, the rebels. Although they are liable to be terminated, but what would be their title? Majority of Islamic scholars, including Imam Bukhari and Imam Ajuri and Qazi Iyaz and Imam Nawawi and Imam Asqalani and Imam Ghazali, all these scholars up till present time, majority, overwhelming majority, they have been declaring their act kufr. And there were very few scholars among the muhaddiseen and very few scholars who have declared them bughat, rebels. Instead of saying them disbelievers, they said they are liable to be death punishment and to be terminated, but their title, technical title would be like bughat, they are rebels. Like rebels are liable to be terminated, liable to be fought with. That's why they would be technically known as rebels, al-bughat. And majority have been saying that they go out of the ambit of Islam and they have declared their act as kufr. But as community, they are not said that they are kuffar. Their act is kufr, and the act is act of disbelief, and they become disbelievers according to the commandments of Holy Prophet. But as community, we say they are not Muslims. These are the limitations combining both views. But majority go to their kufr. Very few scholars say them the bughat and rebels.